Welcome to my first post-Brexit weekly forward look video. But business goes on as usual, nothing has changed. It's going to be a busy week in Parliament. I've come up to the posh end of the parliamentary estate for this video in the House of Lords. We're just outside the House of Lords, and you can tell because we have red stripes and red colours compared to the green stripes and green colours for the House of Commons down that end. Now, I've spent a really interesting Friday. I went to the wonderful community house in Dominion Road in Worthing, which I helped set up with Worthing Home some years ago, and as a great drop-in community facility, and I did a drop-in surgery there. Then I went on with Worthing Homes to Pearson's Retreat in Brougham Road, which is a great sheltered housing community there. Spoke to a lot of the residents, and one of the issues that came up was electronic scooters, which I actually raised in Parliament the day before, because I was in Barcelona and Tel Aviv last year, and these electric scooters were all over the place and are becoming the happening thing. We're increasingly seeing them in this country, particularly around London, but they are illegal here. You can't actually drive them on the pavements or the roads. Now, we need to sort that out, so I asked the Minister if he would have a review to see whether we can make them legal, subject to insurance, registration, wearing crash helmets, having lights, speed limits, all those sorts of things, as they've just done in Germany. That would help with congestion, and it would help drive down pollution as well, which are important things we need to do. So we had a lively discussion at Pearson's Retreat, some people saying, oh, it will be terrible, some people saying, no, it's a great idea. But it's interesting how just one thing I raised in Parliament was noticed. Also, I am delighted and relieved to say the Grove Lodge Roundabout has been resurfaced at last. And I went around it a couple of times without having to dodge all the potholes. Last year, after pressure from the local councillors and me, Highways England did resurface, but only part of it for some crazy reason. They've now come back and done the whole lot, so at last you can drive around Grove Lodge in relative safety. All we need to do now is get rid of those ridiculous lights that just add to the congestion and add to the air pollution. Now, as I say, a busy week in Parliament. We've just passed the first stages of the Agriculture Bill, which is all about post-Common Agricultural Policy and how we are going to reward farmers for doing environmental goods in the future. We also have the NHS funding bill, which enshrine in law the additional funding that is going into the NHS. We've got opposition debates that Labour have put forward on Wednesday on the subject of transport and on local government finance. And then on Thursday there's some important debates, one around persecution of Christians abroad, which is a very topical subject I'm going to drop in on, and also about stillbirth burials, which is a very emotive issue, and through my private members bill, which now gives coroners the power to investigate stillbirths. That's a subject I've been interested in. I've got a lot of meetings this week. I'm meeting the RNAIB about how we can do more to make our streets much more friendly to people with sight impairment. A meeting with the British Heart Foundation around air quality, big issue. The Breathe Easy group in Worthing, who I've met. A couple of meetings around mental health, and also a drop-in for GTR railways, where one of the things I'm going to be taking up with them is apparently these changes where the Brighton to London train is going to be Gatwick Express rather than Southern, which means you're going to have to be paying more for your fares, which doesn't sound right to me. So with other MPs I'm going to be taking that up. This Friday I'm going to be meeting a group of the so-called WASPI women, a cause I've been involved with for many years, and I've been re-elected as co-chair of the all-party 1950s Women's Pension Group. We're also selecting people for the select committees, the important committees that carry on in Parliament, and I've just been put back on the Home Affairs Select Committee, which I've been on for the last 5 years. Also on Friday I'm meeting a group of nurses at Worthing Hospital to see how we can make it easier to recruit more nurses, as the government desperately wants to do. I'm then meeting various officials at the town hall. Then I've got my normal surgery at Southwick if you want to book an appointment, ring up the office. And then on Saturday I should be at the Shoreham Farmers Market as usual for anybody just to drop in. So busy week ahead. Brexit hasn't changed anything, lots of things to be getting on with.